Welcome back. And today I'm going to go over the recent hurricane that have affected Florida. So so let me go ahead and share the screen and let's go ahead and discuss this first information coming from Altos Research. And I'm going to talk about how will Florida going to recover from the recent hurricane, or perhaps there's a crisis going on, or there's a total demise of the Florida landscape as we see it. So I'm here to provide as much as information, content, and factual facts as much as possible, so people can make an informed decision instead of watching the very inaccurate, very misleading crash bros, negative headlines, doom and gloom, the sky is falling scenario associated with the Florida housing market with respect to with the hurricane situation. So I will do my best to be as objective as possible. Having said that, just to let you know, I do have a number of rental properties throughout Florida, which I purchased over the past several decades, and I still have several rental houses still here in Florida. And just want to let you know that because I've purchased new constructions throughout the years, most, if not all of the weather, hurricane situations, whatever, it did not affect any of my properties. No major damage, some minor cosmetic repairs, because I bought it in a number of different locations. I bought it more than 20 years ago, just so you know. So you can make the argument that I know Florida quite well, and many of my investors are still buying in Florida in very strategic locations. They're buying the most affordable markets with cash flow investment properties. Although, again, I'm not an expert in Florida, so I know enough to able to have done very well with my real estate portfolio here in Florida. All right, so without further ado, I'm not here to talk about my personal portfolio, but just go over the entire landscape, what's going on, and just separate the fact from fiction, if you will. All right, so just so you know, I'm monitoring this type of landscape, this housing market here in Florida, just like a lot of people. But I will send you more videos even on a weekly basis. So I challenge you to, if you see any kind of value, subscribe and like my YouTube channel, so you will get more frequent updates around Florida's housing market. Not just Florida, many housing market that I'm very much are involved in as well as an investor, and guiding my investors also in various markets. Anyway, it come from the horse's mouth, okay? So I know what I know, and a lot of people know what they know, and we have boots on the ground. I have a lot of experience owning income properties here in Florida. All right. With that said, let's go dive in. Altos Research, the initial headline coming from Housing Wire as well. What post-hurricane data in North Carolina could mean for Florida's recovery? Good question, especially in western part of North Carolina. Asheville got affected the most by Hurricane Milton, and so they got hit prior to what happened to Florida with the hurricane. So that's a good metrics to determine what's going on in North Carolina that may affect Florida's recovery, because Florida's hurricane occurred later than what happened in North Carolina. So here it is. While assessing the full scale of the damage, it could still take months. Yes, the short-term effects on the two states' housing markets were immediately visible. The markets came to a complete halt. Obviously, there were no real estate transactions when a particular region got hit by a hurricane so devastating that everything shuts down, not just real estate transactions. And we're talking the entire infrastructure of a particular location is shut down because of the severity of the hurricanes. Anyway, so in the days right before and after Hurricane Milton battered Central Florida, two highly responsive metrics went into free fall. Wow, that's a very damaging word, free fall. So let's look at Tampa metro area listing count. So again, we have some very fairly normal, we call it new listings that occur November of last year, December, then 2023, then throughout the first 9 months of 2024, pretty fairly consistent new listings count here in Tampa Metro. However, when the Hurricane Helene and Milton went into Southwest Florida and here in Tampa Metro as well, as you can see during the eye of the storm and several weeks thereafter, as you can see, the new listings have plummeted. Okay, plummeted back in as in October. So new listings went from 800 new listings to all the way down to 200. Right. So this is a very steep decline in listings. To what else? Yeah. So the Tampa Metro, which was one of the parts of Florida hit most directly by Milton, new home listings stood at 770. Okay. And then it's now dropped to a shocking 78% to 163 listings. All right. Again, this is don't make of it. This is just a short-term data. You cannot make any of it. You cannot make sense on any of it. The data needs to be more, we need more data in order to draw any kind of conclusion. All right. No one is drawing any kind of conclusion. So I'm not going to either. But that said, Florida home sales change, right? As you can see, it's pretty drastic. Okay. Look at this, just precipitously drop in sales, right? So the whole real estate market is just completely frozen. Any kind of closings after a housing transaction has been delayed. Title companies have closed their door, and it's just buying, selling, is just come to a complete halt. It's not a matter of how hot or how cold is a particular housing market. It's just this weather conditions is creating a situation where we cannot transact any kind of activities, any kind of business during the eye of the storm, right? It's pretty giving this situation. So we are going back to the Asheville, Metro Asheville, North Carolina, located in western North Carolina, that was hammered by Hurricane Helene about a few months back. And so their listings have dropped quite dramatically back on September 20th, 120 to 82, just a week later. And so new listings dropped just like 60, 70, 80% right after the storm subsided, according to a Housing Wire. Then out-of-town investors were among the most interested buyers. The vultures are coming in to scoop up some stress sales. I don't know what they mean by out-of-town investors. We're talking mom and pop investors from out of town, from other part of the country. They send blood on the street, if you will. Blood on the street. Yeah, that thing. Have you heard that term? The blood is on the street was the term that was given quite a bit back in the 2008 housing crash. Blood is on the street. Blood is on the street of Asheville, North Carolina, and is blood on the streets of Southwest Florida after the Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton just devastated the area, at least the coastal areas, right? I'll discuss more about this. Mainly the coastal areas of Southwest Florida were affected drastically by Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. And for that matter, 2 years ago, Hurricane Ian went through Southwest Florida. But again, I have a lot of experience in Florida, and I have rental properties located in Southwest Florida in the past, not currently right now. So I know the history of how resilient and Floridians are in their recovery method. You have to realize that Florida is the amazing lifestyle, is a warm weather, all the metrics that makes this state also most desirable and make Florida is the fastest growing state in the country for a number of years now. And it makes Florida is the fastest growing, more people migrating into Florida than in any other states in the union, right? I'm just giving you some heads up data, okay? There's a reason why everybody loves to live in Florida, but some people may not. Some people have a very negative narratives around Florida, regardless of the hurricane, right? Again, whatever, everybody have their own opinions, which is fine. Right. So Asheville, let's we'll go back to Asheville, new home listings. As you can see, everything going back normal. Then all of a sudden, Hurricane Milton came over to Asheville, North Carolina, and you could see some steep drop in listings a few months ago. And then they're barely coming back, right? They're coming back from post-Hurricane Milton, Asheville, North Carolina. So this is a sort of a benchmark. This is a benchmark in terms of what happened to Asheville may affect similar trend, similar data, or how it's going to affect Florida hurricane recovery. While listings may have rolled back, new pending home sales in most areas of North Carolina are still down by substantial percentages. Okay, that's fine. Some of the areas in Asheville, sales remain 50%, while Boone County at 82% from the previous high of listings, so forth and so on, right? And then, so therefore, in North Carolina, suggests that it could be a while before things get back to something resembling normal. It takes time post-hurricane recovery, regardless of location, what situation, right? Anyway, so that's what happened. Florida is learning a lot from what happened with Asheville, North Carolina. So let's look at, Tampa, Southwest Florida, and Cape Coral, the Southwest Florida market is heavily affected by Hurricane Helene and Milton. So let me look at the several data. I don't want to spend too much time on this particular presentation. There's so much more I want to report. New listings, obviously, this is dated October, right? Dated just this past month. This is pretty new data. And as you can see, the listings have dropped 40%, right? 40% from year over year from 2023, which is the blue line. The new listings have dropped beginning the summer of June 30th, June, July, August, September, October, November. October, actually, so the past few months, you can see some steep decline in new listings. So that's to be expected, right? Of course, pending sales also is affected. It's just that it takes time to recover. However, now medium price, some of you are thinking, oh, we can buy stress sales properties now in Southwest Florida. We can get pennies on a dollar. Hold up, okay? Don't overreact. As of October 23rd, the median sales price in Tampa Metro is still going about as normal, okay? Normal trend, even during the seasonality of the last quarter, the fourth quarter of every year, we usually have less activities because that's how it is. And yet, the median sales price is still pretty consistent. We have not seen any drop in medium sales prices. Remains to be seen what's going to happen in the next few months for the rest of this year and beginning of next year. What's going to happen to the new listings? What's going to happen to active listings? What's going to happen to the prices and what have you? The active listings, again, the last few months has been decreasing. Even without the hurricane, any market, the last half of the year, typically you get less listings because it's not due to seasonality, right? So active listings is going down. So nothing to be concerned about and based on current data. And so let me see, let's look at months of supply. Yes, obviously, since there are no transactions in the past few months, as a result of the hurricane, the supply of inventory has shot up to 33 weeks. So we're talking around 8 months supply of inventory. It's not because of lack of demand, because you can't, there's no real estate activities in the past month, right? From September the 9th to October the 6th, almost a month, this past month, the week of supply has increased dramatically because there are no buying, selling in the area. So not look at this vertical trend of weeks of supply as to draw any kind of conclusion. Does that make sense? So again, I know there are more supply this year, 2024, than the past few years. We get that, right? And for many reasons. Average sales to list price, which is 97%. So that means the final sales price is typically around 3% lower than the initial list price at 0.97%. So nothing to be concerned about. Okay. So this is the Tampa market. My big picture conclusion about this past few months of Tampa metro data is such that there is no need to be concerned. Only listings have decreased, pending sales has decreased, and active listings has decreased due to lack of housing activity. Nothing more, nothing less. All right. So you should not think beyond that. Does that make sense? So that's my takeaway from Tampa Metro. Let's go to the lower Gulf Coast area, which is the Cape Coral. I know we talk about Cape Coral, but there are several counties located in and around Cape Coral. We're talking Charlotte County, we're talking Lee County, Fort Myers, and the Southwest Florida is quite big. Cape Coral is part of the Lee County, and there are other cities located in around Lee and Charlotte County. We're talking Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, and Fort Myers and Cape Coral and a few other places in this area that are affected by the hurricane. So Cape Coral, again, let's look at the new listings. As you can see, that's no surprise that the listings have decreased as a result of the Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Helene that occurred earlier this year. We already saw some new listings decrease, okay, which is to be expected, okay. Pending sales, same thing. Pending sales just slightly lower than last year, now slightly 31% lower of pending sales compared to year over year, October of this year from October of last year. Let me see what else. And let's look at the importance of the median sales price. Again, median sales price have not decreased substantially because it's still a pretty decent, healthy, balanced market in the Cape Coral, Southwest Florida for many reasons, because Cape Coral is a very desired place to live, work, and play, right? There are a lot of millionaires, a lot of people with money, retirees and millennials. Everybody want to come to Southwest Florida, Cape Coral because of a desirability of living in this location, right? Hurricane or not. So again, this median sales price have pretty much in alignment within past several years. Nothing to discuss that cause any kind of concern. So the housing prices is still maintaining itself so far. And so remain to be seen. So let's talk about active listings, also very important. As you can see, right, active listings has been going down, but not too much down. Back in April, it was 11,267. Now, as of October 20th, 2024, there are 9,416 listings. Yes, there are 17% active listings higher than last year. So not as great, right? Nothing to be concerned about short term. So let's go over a month of supply. Once again, the Hurricane Milton has affected a housing transaction. As consequently, there are more supply coming in inventory for those reasons. All right. And we'll remain to be seen. I expect in the next few months, if there are no other hurricanes, hopefully not in this region, we expect some housing transactions to occur, and we will see buying and selling in this marketplace, just like it always has been. So the trend line should come down gradually for the remainder of this year and into next year, when the spring 2025 housing market will be ramped up all over again. It depends on a lot of economic factors, interest rates, and the economy, and what have you. But so I'm not going to say this housing market is going to go through a crash. There's no data that tells me that it's going to be a crash of any consequence. You tell me, right? Comment below. Let me see what you think. For those of you who live in Florida, let me know whether my comments, my presentation, my data are rational or logical. And there's no need to panic, okay, so far. So let's look at the month of supply, 32 months, but 32 weeks divided by 4 weeks per month. So 8 months supply of inventory. Yes, is a buyer's market, right? Because a healthy, balanced market is anywhere from 4 to 6 months supply of inventory. We have now 8 months. So at least there's a window right here that shows right now is a buyer's market, because there are more supply than demand as a result of this hurricane and there are no selling and buying transaction has occurred during this past September to October. Make sense? All right. As you can see, several years ago, the supply inventory, like back in 2021, during the housing boom, during the pandemic housing boom in Southwest Florida, just like many part of the country, there was only 6 weeks of supply, which is less than 2 months of supply of inventory. And the demand at that time was tremendous, causing, skyrocketing in home prices in Florida, and Cape Coral is no exception. All right. And let me see. The last metric I want to share with you is average sale to list price, 96%. So that means the homes will sell at 4% less than the original list price. Okay. Again, it's lower than the previous few years, but nothing too drastic to make any kind of trendy recommendation. All right. So here's my takeaway from Hurricane Milton has affected Asheville, North Carolina earlier than it affected Florida. Is a benchmark for how the recovery of Florida going to transpire down the road. Again, everything is not economic driven. It is weather related. The data trends, we have been able to see a lot of metrics that are not indicative of the economic conditions or the housing market situation here in Florida. Remains to be seen. Florida is still a very robust market. I know there's a lot of inventory going to be available. So it's an opportunity for buyers to get some good deals and some investors to come in and get some good deals as well for you. However, you're not going to see much stress. There are really no stress so far, to my understanding, or you might have a different opinion. But that is my opinion. It's just Florida is still very, very resilient. You know what? The Floridians and the economic metrics of Florida are very resilient. It has a lot of great metrics, a lot of desirability in terms of quality of life. A lot of people want to live here, although that begin to subside just a little bit. But at the end of the day, if you buy in an inland location, 10, 20, 30 miles inland, anywhere in Florida, not just Southwest Florida. If you buy new constructions, then those built new construction homes will be pretty much can sustain any kind of hurricane crisis. And insurance is not going to be a factor if you buy new constructions in a non-flood zone, in inland areas, and the insurance that are very reasonable, believe it or not. So don't listen to all the doom and gloom, all the crash bros out there, all the negative media. The sky is falling, and all the doomers are trashing on Florida. Everything is going hell in a handbasket. It's not doom and gloom. The sky is not falling in Florida. Okay, so I know Florida very well, but only time will tell. That Florida is very resilient. The demand is always very high. A lot of homes are still very affordable compared to other part of the country. And a lot of people have migrated to Florida over the years from other parts of the country. We all know that, right? So there's a lot of wealth migration into Florida. We got some multimillionaires that own those coastal homes, those devastation in the coastal area. I don't feel bad for those owners, okay? Although some are being impacted, it's very tragic. We have loss of lives and a lot of damage. It's very, very sad to see the image of what's going on in the coastal areas of not just Florida, but coastal areas of the Atlantic coast and North Carolina that got affected by these serious hurricanes. But at the end of the day, the rebuild and the reconstruction and the resiliency of these people living in this area, they will come back strong, because it is just my thoughts. Okay, so what are your thoughts? Whether you agree with my analysis or not, that's fine. I respect people's comments. Please make your own comment at the bottom on this video, and I'll be more than happy to address your questions. And also, if you receive any value whatsoever from this video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also subscribe to my email below on my website, so you can learn more about investment opportunities, how real estate investors can do well long-term to buy in different markets. And you'll be a free member of my organization. So you can learn a lot about the housing market, economics, and investment news about how to become a real estate investor. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next video on all areas, all topics of real estate investing and the housing market and the housing economy and what have you. So I post frequent updates about the real estate. Thank you so much. This is Siwen Yi. Have a nice day. I'll see you next time shortly. Bye bye.